I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A pleasure to have you here with us in London Film Festival. If you could begin with a brief introduction to your film foe, what can people expect when they watch it?
The unexpected. That is for sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're expecting when they come in, but it's definitely going to be a very different journey for them.
And of course, co-written with Ian Reid and based on his book from 2018. When did you first think, you know what, this is going to work really well on the big screen?
As soon as I read the book, I could see it playing out. It was very cinematic. It had that old school Hitchcockian feeling, a stranger arriving in the night, but then it took this really beautiful turn. It kind of focused on this marriage that was under stress. The real mystery became Hen, played by Saoirse Ronan. She became the real mystery of the story, and I just loved how it went against all my expectations and actually found something very profound.
And in terms of your approach to the visuals, what I love is just combining this, mesmerising sci-fi elements, but it feels very grounded and almost timeless when you're looking at the house. What did you want to do with it in that respect? What kind of space you want to put the audience in?
Well, I guess the house is very nostalgic, and I guess it represents what Junior's been holding on to, that kind of patriarchal, generational thing, and that's what is kind of entrapping Hen in many ways. So the house is kind of full of ghosts and it's very nostalgic. And then when you move outside of that, you get these kind of startling contrasts. You get this mega industry and an earth that's been abused and used, and I guess all of that creates this sense of time running out in our lives. And when you feel time running out, I think you reflect whether you're happy and whether you're living your life to the fullest. And I think that's what Hen represents in the story. She appreciates that time is precious, and she doesn't want to. She wants to be herself again. She wants to find her agency.
And I guess we all knew that Saoirse and Paul would be amazing together, but maybe not just how amazing, and the sort of the commitment they have to the roles. And then also Aaron Pierre's sort of character coming in the triangle. What was it like seeing these people on set?
It was everything I hoped it to be and more. They're like the most beautiful people, the most beautiful actors, and with this material, they just were flying, absolutely flying.
What do you hope people take away? We were just sort of debating there, it's about climate change, and there's also this dystopian idea of the future, but then also it's about relationships and not taking people for granted.
It's exactly that. Hen is the person that is speaking to us in the film, and I think what she's basically saying is just to remind audiences that time is precious and our lives are very, very special. They're magical, and not to take them for granted. Don't deny who you really are. Find it and embrace it and live it. And I think that's what she's really fighting for, and what I really relate to.
And finally, what does it mean to you to be here at London Film Festival presenting the film?
I mean, it's fantastic to put this in front of an audience. It's nice to be near Paul and Saoirse's home turf as well, and Aaron's home turf, so that's kind of special, and lots of good friends here as well, so it's very, very magical. I guess just you got to stay focused on what the story you're telling. So ultimately it's a relationship story, and then those elements should just really echo the greater metaphors, I guess.
Yeah.
So people get carried away with sci-fi because they want to create all this crazy stuff, and in a way that wasn't the motivation. For me, the elements of environmental decay and sci-fi is you feel a ticking clock on the story, you feel that time's running out on our lives, it feels imminent, and I guess that's what Hen feels. Like, what are we holding on to? And she really wants to honour this time that she has. Like Junior says, are you afraid of dying? And she says, only I'm not being ready. You know what I mean? You want to die and not have lived your life. And I guess that external pressure really helps that. I definitely wanted the farm, Junior's farm, to feel like a window into the natural world. So it kind of echoes and mirrors the relationship. It's kind of decaying and then kind of fading away and all earthy colours. Then outside of that, I was interested in this idea of hypercolour. So whenever we see the landscape, it needs to feel like it has been used by industry and it's bleeding, it's toxic waste, and it's lots of colour, or it's like genetic engineered crops or these kind of horrific tower farms.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're heading. Well, it's sci-fi, but it's just around the corner.
Yeah.
It really is. And we are trying to live in space because we're fucking it up here. You know what I mean? It's just so annoying. So I'm with Hen. It's just like, fuck, why are we spending all the money up there? It's a tragedy. I mean, we've known about where we're going for so long. Well, I mean, it can be that. I guess it's all one and the same thing.
Yeah.
We don't honour who we are and honour people around us. How can the planet be safe? How can we make good decisions? It's all the same thing. I had a really strong feeling for who Hen was, and I wanted to cast her first. I really wanted to find a character that, even when they're not acting, their personality and spirit kind of shine through. And Saoirse is one of the very rare actresses that can do that. Like, no matter what character she plays, there's just that beautiful personality just bursting through. And for me, that's what's precious in the film, is that spirit. And everyone has that spirit, but it gets killed, it gets dulled over, it gets kind of closed over by relationships, people telling you how you should be, and you lose your identity. So I wanted to feel that purity, and that was Saoirse. And then I had to go and find her a husband. I didn't think of Paul, and then my casting agent recommended Paul. I went and met him in Sydney, and he was crazy about playing this story, and I really loved him. I thought he was he had this alpha quality and a feminine quality. He was kind of old-fashioned in many ways. Just a very beautiful human being, and I really liked our conversation. So, and I thought, well, Irish heritage, shared heritage, it will just bring that believability to the characters, and that's what I was really trying to find. So it was just meant to be.